Hello, this is the Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. As I like to do in the beginning of each episode of the podcast, mention social media and audio platforms. Social media, I will link that in this episode. And also, I'm on Substack. So, go on and find me on Substack and enjoy my content, my writing content on there. And please feel free to, if you enjoy that, the content that I have on Substack, please feel free to subscribe or support. Now, audio platforms, I am on Audible, I'm on Amazon Music, I'm on iHeartRadio, I'm on Spotify for podcasters, Pandora, and I'm looking to grow to wherever you enjoy your content, I'm on that. So this episode is about the continuation of Halloween, of course, as we are in the month of October. And I'm talking about the song Werewolves of London. And I'm going to do a deep dive on that and all of that and talk about the ins and outs of it. So let's get started and let's get into it. Alright, so let me talk about my thoughts about Werewolves of London. Particularly what I'm going to talk about with my thoughts is about the songwriting process and songs that you would see. Well, see, as far as concerts and, artists on television shows and making appearances. In the 70s, particularly, from what I gather and, appreciation for music of the 70s, you just see countless examples of musical artists taking the time to really delve into storytelling and to talk about and make commentary on things and their surrounding and things that they notice about everything that's going on in society or other things in general. And the way music was presented in the 70s was in a way that it made it pleasing to the listeners to be able to relate to the artist, to where the human experience wasn't something that was just seen as, something born in a vacuum per se. It had merit, and it had purpose, and you saw this with countless artists. For instance, Fleetwood Mac, Jackson Browne, which was a reason for this particular artist, Warren Zevon, for coming up with this song and getting back in the studio. Jackson Browne, for instance, his songwriting took you on a journey of going through the trails and tribulations of youth and going through everything with romantic experiences and experiencing everything with his point of view about the opposite sex and everything else, and his point of view about manhood and all of that. And I think Warren Zevon is a prime example of taking things and creating it in a way that's relatable and a way that's inventive at the same time. So, for instance, comedy. You would see that a lot, and for comedians to come out with comedy albums and all of this, during this time. And the fact that he wanted to go down the route of talking about and introducing comedy in a song, and also introducing horror themes within a song in a way that is relatable enough, not off-putting, is really something to say about that. And I think the way he merged these two together, it also made the sense of crime, noir per se, and horror seem, more digestible, instead of just this horrific thing, or just this gory thing that was presented, somewhat in the horror genre of the time. So let's get into it, and let's talk about Werewolves of London. Coaxed out of a semi-retirement by his friend Jackson Browne, Warren Zevon hit the studio to make his Excitable Boy record and came up with Werewolves of London, a top 50 single in 1978. A fan of detective novels and what he called the noir life, it wasn't a stretch for Zevon to come up with the humorous, also grisly tale about a real-life werewolf. His brilliance was already well known among his peers like Jackson Browne and Linda Ronstadt. It's why both of them started singing and recording his songs. Linda recorded his song Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me, which became a hit through the shades of dimensions of irony. Jackson started singing Werewolves in London in shows before Warren even recorded it, as far back as 1975, and he told people to remember the name of the songwriter. Werewolves of London was one of those songs which fell into place easily, which it was put into many directions, after which Warren took it and tailored it. The title came from Phil Everly, who had seen the 1935 film Werewolves of London and suggested it. Warren relished the image of a fashionable British werewolf. Composer Leroy Marinelli had an idea for the music on guitar, which Warren adapted to the piano and turned it into what we know as that fast piano riff. It was Waddy Wachtel who came up with the opening lyrics, delivering this, interpretation of Dapper. All right, so here we go with the last piece of information. All right. So, Warren's wife, Crystal Zevon, was there. She wrote down all the lyrics, without which much of the song might have been lost. Now this reaches the end of the Harboring Light. As I like to say, tune in and turn up. And also, if you enjoyed this content, please feel free to follow. And, while you're following, go and give this content a rating. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye now.